Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for lucky number 7, day 7 of the 6-month crypto challenge. That is 1,500 to 250K. Here to guide you along the way, Mr. Techie.
Hello, good evening and welcome everybody. Good afternoon or good early morning if you're joining me from Europe. Welcome to day 7 of this very, very epic journey. Thank you very much, Crypto Romeo, for the great introduction as always. Thank you very much, Marco, on the Discord server. It's Marco with a double K, for the amazing graphics. And thank you guys all for your amazing support and everything that you guys have been commenting on. And a lot of you actually doing pretty well during this challenge, which is really, really good. So thank you as well to everyone joining me today. We've got Damelon, Crypto Romeo, as you heard during the introduction. Grizz will also be joining us a bit later on, as will Dejaclo, I believe, maybe coming on a bit later. Possibly Wes. We're going to see how things go. So, today is day 7. We've almost completed a week. Now, does that mean that we count today as the week or not? No, we're going to count tomorrow. Okay, when we start tomorrow, that will be the close of the whole first week. And then we can go through and do some stuff. So, as with any tradition right now, 1,188. I think you guys can guess, that's the wrong sheet there. Oops. I think you guys can guess what has been happening today. Essentially, Bitcoin has been making some moves in some interesting ways. I've forgotten that number already. 118857. 118857. No, that's not correct. That was almost going to be an interesting error. So we are down a little bit from where we were yesterday. And that is because, guys, Bitcoin just couldn't wait. It just really couldn't wait. It didn't want to wait for, I don't know, about an hour and a half. It didn't want to wait until we started the stream. Well, maybe a bit longer, a couple of hours. If it had been up here and I was actually checking, we would have been in a little bit of a plus. But unfortunately not. It kind of decided to dip down a bit. This is the Bitcoin chart. And what can we do? Well, I'll tell you guys what we're going to do. If you have a look over since when we started, and I received quite a few messages about this over the last few days. Just a note, guys, because there's a lot of people now joining in on the chat on YouTube, as well as if you want to chat on Discord, you can chat on Discord. If you're on YouTube and you want to ask me a question, make sure to put a big letter Q, okay, before your question. Just then I can notice it and I can pick it out from the from the long list of comments. And if you are on Discord, make sure you tag me using the @ symbol, at Mr. Techie, and then type in your question. Just makes it a bit easier to follow. So, Bitcoin has been making some major moves since we started. And I had an interesting conversation yesterday with somebody asking, well, why didn't you just start the challenge, you know, in 1 week later? Or why didn't you just start the challenge at this point? Or why didn't you just... And my answer to that is that the market is always moving. And there's always a bit of uncertainty as to where it will go. If we knew, okay, if we knew and we could we could accurately predict where Bitcoin would go, we would have technically started the stream down here, guys. So for those of you in Europe, it would have been about 7:30 in the morning. And for those of you in the US, I think that would have been about 1 a.m. Okay, this is where we would have started the stream, the whole challenge. But this is crypto, and it goes up and it goes down. And so instead of trying to chicken out and choose a point that I know is going to give some impressive numbers in the beginning, so then we go after 1 week and we brag, hey, yeah, we made 50% in our first week doing this challenge, like some other places have done recently. No, we started as we had agreed. We started on the 1st, going all the way back to, let's see, I think we started around here. We started around here, and as you guys can see, Bitcoin has been going down. Okay. Is the worst of it over? It's a very interesting question. Am I a bit upset maybe that we started at such a point when Bitcoin was just going down? Not at all, guys. A big part of becoming a trader and trading is knowing how to deal with the markets when they go red. Okay. A lot of people started trading like it's their first time ever making a trade in anything. Okay. When Bitcoin was kind of what they call in a bullish market. Okay. Where there are more buyers than there are sellers, so the prices just go up. A lot of people started there, so that is the only thing that they know. Now, we are starting in literally a very, very, very point of the bad point, sorry, of the bearish market, which is when there's more sellers than there are buyers, and so everything's just going down in price. So it's good training for us in our first week. Okay, I'll say this. It's good training that in the first week we're making some losses. Okay, now when we still have a small amount of money, rather than all the way down here when we're at about 100k and then we wake up one morning and we're down 20 grand. Okay, it's much better for us to train, okay, and to get used to dealing and seeing how the market can swing from day to day. So yesterday we were up 20%, today we're down 7.6%. That's a big difference in just 24 hours. There is no other market, whether you look at stocks, whether you look at Forex, whether you look at commodities, whether you look at gold, whether you look at potatoes. And there's no other market that will do that for you, okay? Will give you these insane swings, okay? And Bitcoin can sometimes go even more. There are some people who can make 50% in one day. I think there was someone today who came out saying he made 70% today, doing different trading tactics, but they made 70% profit. These numbers don't exist in other trading systems. So it's good that we see now and that we can work out how we can counteract when we have these small losses, okay? So that when we enter into the bullish phase, okay, where we really start to take off, then we can be prepared that if we have a little dip, we're not worried, because we experienced it before when we had less money and we knew what would happen and we knew that it would continue going back up. So that is my answer to that question, which has come up a few times over the last few days. Why did we choose to buy things and not just sell and panic and go into the safety zone? Well, guys, I think yesterday there were people, many people. So yesterday was I gotta check my dates now, 8/7. So yesterday, I believe we were about here somewhere. Yeah, we were here when we streamed. Okay. and a lot of people were preparing for, let me come back. I'm going to use a nice brush in red. And a lot of people were preparing for this line here to kind of come back down there. Okay? This was a preparation by a lot of people. Alright? A lot of people expected this big red line to happen. But we still held our position. What would have happened, guys, if we had sold here, where the stream was, if we had sold everything? So there is one theory, okay, and there is one practice. I'm going to talk about it because maybe a lot of you guys have seen it come up a little bit. Okay? There is one theory and one practice of pulling back into United States dollar tether, USDT. Now USDT is a cryptocurrency, it is just a token, okay, but its value is as closely tied to the value of the US dollar as possible. So if we go to CoinMarketCap, and we can come here and we can go to USDT, okay, you can see that its current value is 0.990372. It can fluctuate a little bit. Today it's down 0.127%, but it is as close as possible to the value of $1 US. Okay, so a lot of people, what they do when there's crashes like this due, or they believe that there may be a crash, is that then they go and they sell all of their assets, everything that they have, and then they go into USDT. And what they hope to do is that once it comes down to the bottom, and I'm just going to change this here now to a blue line. Oops, not what I wanted to do. Okay. What they do is that they wait till it comes down to the bottom here. Now I can click on blue. There we go. All right, and then they hope to buy. So that then they can ride it back up. I'm just drawing random squiggly lines, guys. These aren't scientific here, okay? And they hope to ride them all the way back up. Why? It's to maximize their profits. So, if for example you had sold up here, and we're not going to look at what happened yesterday, I'm just going to explain this theory to you guys because I know a lot of people have been asking about it. Okay? What would have happened? You would have sold here, and then you have United States dollars. Okay, and this point here is $7,500 per Bitcoin. And then Bitcoin would have dropped all the way down to $6,000 per Bitcoin. So essentially, if you wanted to buy the same amount of Bitcoin as you had, you would be left over with $1,500 if you had one full Bitcoin, which we don't have right now. Okay, so essentially you are buying Bitcoin for a lot cheaper, and therefore you can buy a lot more. And then when it comes to this point here and you've bought back into your Bitcoin, you also buy back on your altcoins because their value too went down. And then when it comes back up to the level where you were previously, the 7,500 point, you have more Bitcoin than you had, and you have more altcoins than you had, and therefore you have more equivalent dollar value than you had. But this is a risky tactic because, as you guys saw, it did not dip down. Instead, it reached a certain line and then it started to go up. Okay, so what does it mean then when that happens? A lot of people, and trust me, a lot of people pulled out. Okay, I think I was even one of them. I pulled out a lot of my assets and I went into USDT, ready for the big dip, and then I woke up, ladies and gentlemen, and I woke up at exactly here. Okay, that there is the point that I woke up. So essentially, it didn't dip down, everything went up, and then I had to buy back at a higher price. So, essentially, I still had the same dollar value. I didn't lose any money, any dollar money, but I lost out on potential profits. What does this all mean? Okay, and why am I bringing it up to everyone? Because I've seen a lot of questions, people asking, hey Mr. Techie, what should we do? Should we go into USDT? My honest advice, guys, okay, which is why we haven't done it with here, is that unless you can guarantee that you will be there at the point at which it switches direction, i.e., if I do that at this point here, let me change that color just so it's a bit clearer. Let's go for a yellow. Unless you can be there watching the charts, okay, and you can see when it's going to switch direction, and then you can take some action based on that, it is a 50-50 risky move. Okay, I generally wouldn't advise it to someone who's just started trading. Okay, oops, don't want to put that line there. I generally wouldn't advise it to someone who has just started trading, because what will happen is that it will come down, and if it continues down, okay, fine, they can make some profit. But if it goes back up, they start to buy in at the top, and then look what happens. And then it starts to come back down again. Okay, and when you have a very short time frame per day, okay, where you can actually kind of trade or monitor the chart. A lot of people have day jobs. A lot of people have obligations, familial obligations. A lot of people have other commitments that they have to deal with. They can't be sat there, 2,000 hours a week watching the charts, like glued to the screen. Come on, Bitcoin, please go up. People can't do that. Like, I can do that. I sit there all day going, please, Bitcoin. But yeah, it doesn't work half the time. Okay, so that is why the position that we took during this trading course was to play the best possible game. We haven't touched this account in between streams. I don't even log into the account in between streams. Okay, so everything that's here is exactly as it was when we left the stream yesterday. And as a result, I am not going to make a trade and then wait for the dip and then hope for it to go back up and wait for it to go back down and hope for it to go back up, etc., etc. Was it about here yesterday that we did stuff? Yes, it was. Okay. But at this moment in time, guys, now this is going to be an interesting question. I'm going to put in a new color line. Okay. So yesterday we started the stream about here, this yellow line. Right now we are above the yellow line. Well, we did just go in the last 15 minutes. So if I refresh this, we're up to 1220. However, 1220 is still $60 less than yesterday. So if Bitcoin is now higher than when we took the amount yesterday, why is our balance lower? And that, ladies and gentlemen, has to do with how the coins performed over the last few days. Okay, so let's have a look at our trades and see who moved in which direction, who made us money, and who lost us money. Mr. ICX, wow, you are beautiful in every single way. Words can't bring me to comprehend what it is you have been doing. Alright, so yesterday, in fact, I think maybe it might be clearer. Is it clearer for you guys to watch everything on this dark screen with all of the arrows and stuff? If it is, then I can switch over to reviewing the coins on here maybe. Versus reviewing them on Binance because it's a little bit tinier. And okay, so I think the general consensus is techie. Let's do it on there. Alright, so I'm going to duplicate. No, thank you. And we need to go to ICX, BTC on Binance. Okay, so let's find, I don't know what this blue line is. Let's find the point we were at yesterday. So I'm just going to move it across so we don't get too much information in there. Alright, so we started the stream around here. So again, I'm going to do very simply now, okay, our horizontal line at the point when we started the stream, which is here, okay? This is actually a nice way to review the coins. I think it's a little bit cleaner than moving forwards and backwards, okay? So this is where we started the stream yesterday, okay? And as you guys can see, as soon as we started the stream, ICX began to dip, okay? And again, this here is our Bitcoin line, okay, in yellow, of where Bitcoin was. And Bitcoin too started to dip. Okay, that's great. Bitcoin was dipping, so ICX dipped. And then Bitcoin started to take off. Great. ICX did. But then what the hell happened here? So at 1:15 my local time. Sorry, is this the correct day or am I looking at the wrong day? I think I'm looking at the wrong day, aren't I? Let's see. Oh no, sorry, it was the right day. That is my mistake. Sorry about that, guys. Because the stream happens in US time, and I am currently based in Europe, and as a result, I keep on mixing up the dates. Because right now it's past midnight for me, it's 1:20 AM. Alright, so, yeah, and then Bitcoin started, ICX started to take off, and then it reached a point, and it started to go down. And it just kept on going down, and then just kept on going down a little bit more, and now it kind of reached the bottom here. Bitcoin, on the other hand, follow the yellow line again, went up and stayed up and kept on climbing very strongly, but continuously stayed above the line. So, ICX, ICX lost us a little bit of money. Didn't lose us dollar value, but it lost us Satoshi value, the fractions of a Bitcoin. Because right now, it's 0.5133, and yesterday when we started the stream, it was 0.5583. Okay, is that correct? Or am I reading? Yes, I believe so. So it's lost a little bit of value. It's only a little bit, guys. It's not that much. ICX didn't move that much. Who else do we have? We have Walton. So now let's open up the chart for Walton Bitcoin. All right. It looks a little bit similar, doesn't it? If we just switch back to ICX, Bitcoin, it looks a little bit similar. But let's have a look at what the line tells us. Okay, so again, I'm going to find the same point in time. 1 AM, my time, stream started around here. Okay, so again, stream started and this guy jumped up. Okay, then he came down, bounced around the line for a bit. He stayed over the line for the majority of the day, but then he came to a point where he just kept on going down. Right, it might be an idea possibly to keep ICX open. No, thank you. Okay, so there we go. We've got ICX and we have Walton. Okay, so Walton managed to stay above the line for a little bit longer before it went back down. And then, of course, our final coin that we own, that we have in our assets, is XRP. BTC. And this one I don't really want to look at, guys. Ooh-wee. This one does not look so good, does it? Right, let's go back to here. So, this coin just kind of went down. It completely ignored any other pattern that anybody else made. Okay? And it just decided to keep on going down and down and down and down. So, why have we lost money? Even though Bitcoin is currently at a higher level than where we were when we started the stream yesterday. And the answer to that, ladies and gentlemen, is to do with how much of each coin we have. We have 430 Ripple, okay? And I'm not going to do any crazy calculations right now. I'm just going to look at my port tracking app, okay? Ripple is about 25% of our portfolio, okay? And if 25% of our portfolio goes down, okay, even if everything else kind of goes up a little bit, this will cancel out the profits from everything else. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why our portfolio today went down. Now it's going back up a little bit, okay, which is good news, it's great news, but that is only because Bitcoin's got some nice big green candles. Hallelujah. Been waiting for these all day. But I'm not going to update this sheet, because whenever we start the stream, that's the number we write in there. That's the 24-hour mark. So, what does this mean to us? Well, if we come and we look at our trade history, okay, for Mr. Ripple, we can work out what we bought at, 9368, and we can also just come here and we can go Ripple 0.0009368, I think I said. I believe I said 9368. Yeah, 9368. Okay. So Ripple is currently at 9368, and we don't just hold it from there, we hold it from up here as well. Sorry, that was the wrong one. There we go, up here. Okay. So Ripple, all of our Ripple is currently in red. Okay. Walton 275, we'll say 275. Walton here at 275. Okay, we can drag that down there. Oops. And we can also copy it up to our original Walton that we bought. Okay. And ICX at 5230. So ICX 5230. Okay. And ICX again here. That doesn't quite seem right, does it? How many zeros? It is 000. I made an error in that buy price. There we go, that's more like it, isn't it? Okay, so now this is going to be a nice segue into our next part of the sheets, guys. Okay, I know there's a lot of features that people have been asking for. I've been trying to find the best ways to calculate some stuff. It's been a little bit busy these last few days. There was a lot of stuff going on in the Discord server, so I couldn't really step away from there. You know, there was a lot of stuff I had to deal with, and then as well in my own personal and professional life, a lot of stuff I had to deal with. So I know there's a lot of questions about adding in extra features. I'm going to try and cover as many of them as I can. Now, as we can see here, it's very messy now. We don't know what the hell is what. There are just lots of numbers and everything's kind of getting a bit busy and a bit of a pain in the ass, right? Okay, so how can we change this to be a little bit clearer? Now, I'm going to ask you guys a question. If you are using Google Sheets, please put in a capital letter G. And if you are using Excel, please put in a capital letter E. And if you're using any other system, just put in a capital O for other. Okay, so if you guys can type that in now, I just want to get a good idea of who is using what, because this next part of the tutorial is going to differ from system to system. And okay, we're seeing a lot of G's, a few E's. We've got E, E, G, E, G, G, E, E, G, G, E, E. Sounds like a new kind of language, isn't it? G, G, E, E. Okay, we've got a lot of Googles. We got a few E's, we got an O. Mr. Jonathan, do you want to tell me what your other system is? And Baines saying NA. You're not keeping track, Baines? GG. Okay. Alright, guys. You're using Delta. You're using the application to track. Delta is okay for tracking, but I would highly suggest creating a sheet like this. It will really allow you to calculate things like your minimum buy, your 5% profit, which includes the fees, because the minimum buy is the fees, your 10% profit, your actual sell, and going through and keeping a track of all of your previous trades in order for you to track your performance over time. Okay. All right, guys. I'm going to show this on Google Sheets. Okay. There is very, very similar functionality on Excel. I don't have Excel, so I can't unfortunately show you. I wish I could, but it's a simple thing that maybe if you take note of the words, okay, and I'll tell you guys what they are called, then you can research how to do it on Excel. All right. So one thing that we're going to be using is called conditional formatting. Okay. So what is formatting in Excel? If I come here and I put in 500, it's just a number, right? And if I come under format, there's a lot of different options. And oh my God, look at all this crazy stuff. Change the font size. Do I want to make it bold? Do I want to make it whatever it is? I can even change the color of the text. I can make the text green. I can make the background, I don't know, black. I can do whatever the hell I want. Okay, that is formatting. Now, in Excel or in Google Sheets, conditional formatting is a system that automatically formats the cells, i.e. you can change the color, the font, whatever you want, based on the content of the cell. So, I'm going to give you guys an example here. I'm going to choose this cell, and right now, I'm going to write the number 5 in it. Okay, actually, what I'm going to do, let's do it on the new sheet, just so that we don't mess anything up, okay? I think we maybe zoom in a bit. So I'm going to put the number 5 in the middle there, okay? And then I'm going to come to Tools. Sorry, I'm going to come to Format, okay? And I believe it's also Format in Excel, or it might be along the ribbon at the top. If you're not aware where it is, just maybe perhaps you can search or somebody else can comment, okay? And then you click on Conditional Formatting. Now, for now, we're just going to do a simple color, okay? I might have to zoom out for this actually, because there's not enough space here. We're just going to do a color. So, what is conditional formatting? You apply it to a cell or to a range. A range is, you can have a row like this. You can have a column like that. Or you can have a whole box. You can have multiple ranges. So that I've got now 2 different ranges. Okay, but I don't want to do that. I just want to have it in this one here, D7. Okay, and then it says format the cell if. There's lots of options here. Okay, for now, we are just going to do something very simple. We're going to say format the cell if it is greater than the number 5, make it green. Okay, now we're going to add another rule. If it is less than 5, you can click on formatting style. Here's a default option. You can go in and you can select anything, and then you can modify it, change the color, change the size, change whatever you want. Okay, so we said if it is more than 5, we make it green. If it is less than 5, we make it red. And finally, if it is equal to 5, we want to make it yellow. So there we go. We have 3 different rules, guys. All right, let's see how this works. If there's nothing in there, it's going to be white. Oh God, I forgot which one it is. There we go. Okay. Now, if I put 1, 1 is less than 5. Therefore, it's going to be red. 2, 3, 4, 5 is yellow because we told that if it's equal to 5, it will be yellow. 6, you guys get the idea now. Okay, this is conditional formatting. How are we going to use this to track our trades? Very simply now. We are going to apply conditional formatting to our profit lines. Okay, so I'm going to click all of these, the whole column I. This will always have our percentages in. Okay, I'm going to add a new rule. Okay, what is the other option apart from single color? There is color scale. Okay, so color scale will take a color and apply different shades of the same color, okay, depending on how far up or down it is. Okay, so we are going to choose now here. Let's start off with a profit. So okay, we want the minimum to be in profit. To mark it as a profit, we want to be, we'll say 1%. Okay, so 0 point, remember this is percentage, guys. Okay, so in order for it to count as a percentage, sorry, this should be the other way around. This should be the max point. There we go. And then this one here. Okay, if we are over 20%, then it should color it in a different color. Okay, so now what happens if we click done? Or have I got this one wrong as well? No, I think Mr. Techie has gone and got this one wrong. Let me just verify this. It is doing, what are you, it's got a percent in there anyway. I should have done that, isn't it? So, the maximum point should be, minimum point, we said 1%. Maximum point, I think we said 15. What did we say, 15 or 20? And again, have I messed this around? I have very much possibly messed this around. Nope, it's still not working. And I am now starting to wonder why on earth this is not working. I have this set up earlier. Jeff is saying change the color. It's not the color. Then I set up the thing is if I open up my one now, you guys are going to see all my trades. It's white. Ah, yes, you are correct. It is white, isn't it? There we go. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Jeff. Okay, so we are saying on this one here that if your percentage point is, so then this should be the other way around. This one here should be 1. This one here should be 15. And it's still not working. Does this require the percent symbols afterwards? Or does it just simply require 0.01, 0.15? And I don't know what's happening with my Google Sheet, but this guy doesn't seem to want to be working at all, do you? Let's go back to number. There we go, okay. So we want to 0.15, anything above 15%, 0.01. Sorry for the fumbling around, guys. And again, it's just not bloody working. Alright, we're going to go back to basics. Sorry, guys. Let's format the cell. Okay, if it is greater than, and we're going to say 0.15, okay, 15%, anything above 15% is going to be this nice green here. Okay, we're going to say anything above 10%, all right, will be a slightly lighter shade of green, I think. Although it would have helped if I'd started off with the darker green, isn't it? Let's click done. We can change this one here now to a nice kind of dark green there. All right, and then this one here can be a medium green. Okay, and then anything above greater than 0.05%, we can make it into a lighter green there. And add a new one, anything which is, okay, I don't know what happened there. Add a new rule, if it is greater than 0.01, then it should be at least a tiny little bit green like that. Okay, so now what we have done is we have told it that the darker the green, the more profitable the trade is. Now we can also come back in and we can do the same thing, okay, over in red. So then we can come here and we can go less than minus 0.01. We're going to want it to be a nice, very light pink, okay. Add in a new rule. Anything less than minus 0.05. We want it to be just a little bit darker pink. I don't know why I'm doing pink, but I started with pink, so let's just go with pink. You guys can make it any colors you want. Minus 0.1. And then we can go to a much darker one. And we can go to less than minus 0.15. So anything less than 15% is like, that's it for us. And it hasn't updated. Why have you not updated, ladies and gentlemen? If you are less than minus. Okay, this is now turning into an issue now. The calculations are correct, the maths is correct, and now I am fumbling live on air. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
By the way, anyone who's on Binance right now, it's been frozen since about 12 minutes ago. So if you're not seeing updates, that's why.
Wow, goodness, Binance is frozen? Alright guys, I would suggest then, if those of you on Windows computers, download the Binance desktop app.
No, the actual, it's not updating anything, including the desktop app. Like, it's not updating the order books. You can load it and everything, but it hasn't updated any of the charts anywhere since 28 after 7.
Someone's saying Binance crashed completely.
Just FYI.
No, it'll be back, guys. Don't worry about it. I think it just got a large amount of volume in there and couldn't handle it.
All your money's gone.
Yay, guys! Woo! Celebrate! We're free! We don't have to watch the charts anymore.
That was a joke, by the way.
Okay. Yeah, guys, don't worry about it. This does happen occasionally. Okay. Just don't worry about it. It's a good thing everyone can tune into the stream now, isn't it? Hello, welcome everyone. While Techie fumbles on air with what is going on here. Because the conditional formatting does not indeed plan to work for him for some very odd reason. So if we are less than 1%, there's quite a few of them less than 1%, so they have triggered. And then if we are less than 0.5%, so I think I know what the issue is here. We need to rearrange these in order of ascending values, I believe. That's our 0.1 and the last guy here. So the way that this system works, guys, let's make it really dark. Oh, we could change the font to white. All right. So the way that Google works, and I believe Excel might have a similar system, is that you need to reorder the rules, okay, based on which one should trigger first. So you always need to have, for us, the highest value at the top. 0.15 is representative of 15%. And then you get lower, and the same with the minus. I thought the minus would work in the opposite, which is why I had it in the opposite, because our 0 point would be here, but it seems that it was processing it, you know, I put it in incorrectly. We should have started with the least and gone up to the top. So we have created now conditional formatting, which allows us to basically look at a glance and see which of our trades are profitable. All right. So guys, how does this help us in analyzing the situation? We can see that definitely the trades that we made on the 6th, the majority of them, except for XRP, okay, were all profitable, some even quite profitable. Look at that, 25.84%, holy mother. But in reverse, XRP has kind of been hurting a little bit, as has our trades from the first day when we started, okay. Why did I put in 02? And not 01. I think I've been working off of my local date, guys, so I do apologize for that. We did start the challenge, I believe, on 01. No, yeah, I think so. I can't remember now. It's been a week. A lot happened in a week. So I think I've just been using my local date, so I'm always one day ahead of you guys because I'm in Europe and it's already 2 a.m. almost. So what has been happening here then? When we come, and not yet, ladies and gentlemen, this is talking about the future and preparing you. When we come to the point of selling, this here will be a great way that will allow us to analyze how our trades are doing. But it still does require us to come in and manually check the price. And now that Binance is kind of down, actually Binance isn't quite down. So, oh, someone's just showing me a tweet from Binance. As system maintenance is in progress, some users may experience a temporary decrease in exchange performance while this is underway. While this is underway? Thank you for your understanding. Okay. I think they might need to contact me for future tweets. While this is underway. The time of this maintenance. Yep, the beautiful time of the maintenance. But guess what, guys? We can still come here, and if we want to track what's happening around the market, BTC, USD, let's pick somewhere else. We can choose Bitfinex. Bitfinex, I believe, is another good option to track Bitcoin. Oh, it's not really like it moved much, is it? It kind of just meh. Is that on all coins? Are all coins currently going meh? Or has Bitfinex also got a bit of an issue? Okay, well, it hasn't really moved that much. So, those of you tuning in, hello! This is Bitcoin Live on behalf of all Binance people who can't get access to it. Bitcoin is not moving, really. It's kind of going sideways. I used Bitfinex because it's quite... Oop, I don't want to put in GDAX. BTC USD. Because it's quite a large place. It's good to watch as well. I'm going to try and find now. I don't want to use Coinbase. Do they have GDEX as a separate entry here? I don't believe they have GDEX as a separate entry. So let's check out Coinbase. Coinbase, same thing. I think this will be GDAX. It won't be just Coinbase. Having a look here. Then, yep, same thing, just moving a little bit sideways, guys. You can all react. Current price of Bitcoin is 7,760 USD per Bitcoin. Yeah, it's perfectly fine, guys. Don't worry about it. You're not really missing out on anything. It's not like the market decided to make a major movement and then nobody could do anything. Yes, thank you very much to Joseph Vegas. I'm having some issues. Anyone have any idea what's going on? Yep, Joseph, perhaps someone can give you a hand with that, or maybe I can help out afterwards. I'm going to show you guys once again. Maybe you just want to have a look at my numbers and how I've organized them here. I can zoom out a little bit just so that you can see them all. So we always start off with the highest value in greens, and then we work our way down, and then the lowest value in reds, or in my color, or in my I don't know why I chose that color. Let's go and choose a nice red instead. And I know a lot of people will probably be like, no, Techie was a beautiful color. I'm sorry, guys, but I gotta keep it consistent across my screens. And finally, this guy here, we can change that and make it a nice light red. Okay, so again, if you want to have a look, here's my numbers, here's the colors, or the way that I've arranged it. You can always rewind this video and check it back. Okay, there's no issues with that at all. I actually did see another very, very interesting system that somebody did. I'm going to mention it here, okay, but I love the idea so much that I want to modify it a bit. And what they said is, very simply, they have like a progress bar, okay? So as you enter the price here and it goes up, these will start to light up depending on if they are triggered, okay? So let's come down to minimum sell, okay? And we need to do a new rule for minimum sell, and we tell minimum sell, if you are less than, okay, and we need to put in a sell number. It will have to be H3. Okay, if you are less than that number, then you should be green. Okay, so is this number less than that number? This number here, 99 blah blah blah. No, I think I need to come in here. I forgot and do equals H3. There we go. That's the correct way to do it. All right. Then once this number here goes above, this number should light up. So what are we going to do? We're going to come here, do the same thing. If the sell is equal to, is less than, then this one will light up green, and the same thing here. If the sell is less than, okay. So let me just copy this so that I don't mess it up too much. Okay, so as you come in and you adjust the price, Oop, it's not quite as high as I wanted to go. Okay, then the first one will light up, letting you know that you have made the minimum sell. Okay, and then if we come here and we go in at 10,500, the second one will light up, letting you know that you've made the 5% profit mark. And finally, if we come in and we go up to there, all three will light up, letting you know that you've got bingo and it's amazing profit. Okay, I really like that idea. Who was it that actually sent in that idea? I'm really sorry, I forgot to write down your name. Amazing idea, I really like it. The issue is though, I haven't found a way to get it to scale down. Okay, so for example, if I click like that, oh no, it does scale down. Or does it not? Let's try that. So we come here, we click there, apply to range. Oh, come on. There we go. And we come to this one here, and we tell this one here, done. I always get mixed up with this. I'm not an Excel wizard, guys. I don't work with it really that often. There we go. Okay, so that hasn't worked, has it? No, because this price here is lower than there. So it's still taking from H3. So what we need to do is somehow get these to scale down. Yep, this is why it's an amazing idea, guys, but it requires a lot of work on a per cell basis. And if anyone knows a way that I can tell either Excel or to tell Google Sheets to come in and essentially then just kind of, yeah, come through, and we'll be able to calculate this on a per cell basis. So each row that we move down, that this changes here. We don't want to change the number, we just want to change the letter. Then that would be absolutely great. So yeah, I don't really see any questions. I've seen somebody posting a picture of using the conditional formatting with the color scale. That's absolutely brilliant. It's amazing to use the color scale. However, when I just tried it, it didn't work. So I just put in this temporary one for now. Guys, there's always going to, almost every single week, we're going to be adding some new functionality to this sheet. Okay. So yeah, it's going to be absolutely amazing. Someone's suggesting change the thing to question mark. Let's see if that works. Question mark 3, done. Invalid formula. Nope. That one didn't work. No, I don't think the question mark will work there. I think invalid formula. No, okay. So we'll leave that as now, but this, I'm going to work out, guys, how to do this so that it makes it easier for everyone, that we can then scroll up. We don't have to keep on every time adding everything in. It's a bit annoying. Right, so this is the modification that we're going to make to the sheet today. We have added some colors. Mine are a little bit rough. I'm going to refine them off screen on another test spreadsheet, and then tomorrow I'll come back and I will fix this. I think it's done with a $sign before or something similar. Let me have another quick look. Edit here. Dollars. No, it doesn't accept the dollar symbol. It says it's an invalid formula. I cannot remember how this is done. I think there is a symbol that is used as take from the same row. All right, well, let's check it out very quickly then. Formula, take, same row. Let's see if my Google foo is working with this one. No. No, it doesn't seem like there is an option there for it. So I'm just going to leave that for now then, guys. We're not going to spend too much time on this. I'll work on it off screen, and then I'm actually going to add it to my own one as well. I have a lot more percentages in there. I have, I go up in 2.5% increments all the way up to 20%. I don't look at the numbers though. I just I like to see when I've actually kind of got close to there. So yeah. So I'll be doing this offline. Right, is Binance back yet, or is Binance not back yet? This is going to be an interesting point. Sorry for waffling on, guys. I know a few of you may be a little bit bored now. God, I've got a lot of DMs here. Damelon, did you just want to say something, or?
Yeah, sure. No, what I just texted you though was different. You can just read that offline.
Yeah.
I was just going to go over a couple things as far as what I went through in the past 24 hours. I'm going to have to leave pretty soon, so I wanted to say it now. So last night, if you remember, we were all discussing where we were at and what we thought about where the market was going to go. For me, I was mostly in Tether because I had sold my positions after the dip. I had expected it to dip down in what we talked about being a double bottom. It didn't happen. However, I had layer buys down and 2 of those hit. So I purchased I'm pulling up my own spreadsheet. 1 second. So I bought some VEN and some OMISCO, OMG, and some ICX. And my profits at the time weren't very large. And this morning, or last night, and then this morning, what I decided to do was be a little more risky. Now, I'm not going to suggest doing this, but what I ended up doing today, because the market had already continued to go up after I had made my purchases. So I wanted to try to make some additional few percent profits. So I was going through the list of coins that I noticed were moving. Today, I noticed specifically BLZ, CTR, and FUN all were going through pumps. Now, you have to be very careful if you ever involve yourself in these things, because as fast as things go up, they can go down. So I watched them for a little while. I bought in each of them and sold at about 3% each. So it allowed me to make some quick flips and increase some of my funds, while still at the same time, I probably was in about 60% Tether because the market did not drop enough for me to buy. And at the time, we were already near the top, so I wasn't going to be buying anymore at that point. So at this point now, I am back in Tether. As we just had this dip, I purchased some NEO as it was going down at several different buy intervals. Now, at the chart that Techie has right now, usually you would look at all the major drops on this chart and see what is, put like a vertical line across it, and see these are normal resistance points. So for me, I noticed a couple points that had hit, and if you look at the very end there, of course, he's looking up NEO for me.
I'm just trying to stay ahead of it.
Yeah. So I had purchased it at the very right there, at the first stop of that red dip, and then the last stop of that red dip. And then I just sold my position before this maintenance happened right about at 108. Now, normally I would want to hold this because if you looked at where it was during the day, I would hold it continuously until it gets back up to that previous level. So maybe around a 10, 12, 15% level. I was going to continue buying NEO as the drop happened. But as I saw a small reversal, I was going to take profits as I had them, with the assumption it was going to keep going down. Now, I could be wrong. It could recover. And I just want to explain my thought process as I was watching it without doing any technical analysis at all. I'm literally just looking at the chart of where typical resistance levels are, and I'm buying more every time it passes one of those levels. And I would not sell it again until it got up above that level. So it's called, there's a YouTube streamer, Quick Fingers Luke, and that's kind of like his whole methodology about doing it. And since it was NEO, I bought directly from Tether, because if I went to BTC first, there's additional fees. The market could change in the meantime. So it was an easier way to do a flip. So that's kind of what I did in the last 24 hours. And I was able to bring my daily profits back up to a level where I'm in line for the daily percentage. It wasn't a big gain, but it worked out. So that's what I did.
Yep, and we will be teaching you guys all of these tactics and all of these techniques that you can use to amplify your money or your funds during the day if you are able to be online during the day. Again, a lot of these techniques require you to kind of be there and monitoring. Even if you're only online for a few hours, sometimes you can catch one of these. Generally, the name is swing trading, where you ride it as it kind of goes up in value, and then you sell at a point, and then you move on to something else, or you decide to get back in again. So again, we will be doing this. We will be kind of updating, and some people saying, isn't this Koshka's method? No, this is very basic swing trading, guys. Luke Quickfingers is a YouTuber who has a special technique that he does, and Koshka follows his method. There are lots of other different methods as well. We will be covering a lot of these down the line. No, okay, I was going to open up the timetable just to give you guys a rough idea of when we'll be covering them. We will be covering them in a little while. For now, though, we're just trying to take it a little bit safer and a little bit easier, because I think if people just decided to go off and start to experiment, you know, kind of drawing some lines and just kind of going off of something, then in this market right now, there is potential to lose.
Correct.
Quite big. It's very risky. Yep.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, and to reiterate, when I mentioned, I only want to tell you the honest truth of what I did. So when I was following some of those coins that were moving today, those were not coins on my radar. Now, Funfair is one that I've watched for a long time. So when I followed that and I saw it was going up, I knew that it was a good fundamental coin. I really knew nothing about the other two coins that CTR or BLZ, but BLZ was moving a lot today. I think at one point it was the biggest percentage gain today on Binance. So I was watching, I was pretty confident it was going to keep going. But again, those are kind of risk reward because they could just drop out from under you. So if you ever get into those things, please, you could always set stop losses to save yourself in case there's a drop. But you can also don't take too much, because if you wait too long, it could completely drop out in the span of seconds. And by the time you get your order in, you could have lost all the profits that you had. So I was trying to get out like just at 3%. I just wanted something small. And I wasn't putting a lot of my stack into it, just a very small portion. So even if I lost, I wouldn't lose a lot. So just make sure you're careful if you do anything like that.
Yep, and if you're just getting started with trading, I don't advise doing that yet at all. If you're only able to be in front of the screen for a couple of hours, I definitely wouldn't advise doing that yet. The best option is what we are doing in the course here right now, or in the challenge. It's not a course, it's just a challenge that you guys can follow along. We are purchasing coins, we are holding them for a while, and then when they are in profit, we will sell them. At what profit level are we going to sell? That's a question that we will be answering very, very soon. I know we have quite a few coins that are in quite a bit of profit. As a last minute thing, any news in the markets today? Any FOMO or any FUD news? Did you come across anything, Damelon?
Nothing I saw. It's funny how quickly you'll see all the major news organizations talk about how great Bitcoin's going to get, how big it's going to grow. 2 days ago, you would see all the doom and gloom. Bitcoin's crashing. How far it's going to go? It's going to be $1,000. Top analyst says this or that. Everything's closing. 24 hours later, Bitcoin's going up. Bitcoin's going to be $50,000 by the end of the year. There's going to be $1 trillion market cap. This is exactly what all the news organizations do. They just follow whatever direction it's going and they feed into that. So there was no FUD today. It was full FOMO.
Yeah, I think it definitely was quite a bit of FOMO in today. If you have a look again at BTC, you can see a lot of people came down to the bottom here and just decided to try and climb all the way back up. Some people tried to jump in at the top and they weren't that successful. So yeah, I think it's going to be very, very important to kind of control the FOMO and the FUD. Damelon, maybe can you just take a few minutes and just quickly explain like where FOMO comes from, perhaps, and maybe some experiences of what you've seen in the past about FOMO and about FUD, and maybe how they've panned out?
Oh man, I don't even know where to start with that. I mean, some of the stuff we've just mentioned in the last 48 hours are pretty obvious examples, but a lot of the times it would involve examples of FUD you will see is like, in some country, China, South Korea, whatever, an exchange closes, someone gets raided, everyone's worried that they're never going to get their money. In some instances, that's actually happened. In some of the smaller exchanges, the owner of the exchange would be accused of stealing money. The whole exchange closes and all the funds that are stored in the exchange are gone. Not trying to all freak you out about Binance or anything like that, but it's happened with some of the smaller exchanges. Mt. Gox is the most famous one people have heard about. You'll hear China's banning Bitcoin, China's stopping mining, China's banning trading, South Korea's stopping, all that stuff. So you'll hear this all the time. And this causes mass panic. The biggest one last year was because Bitcoin was going to fork, and there was all the miners got to vote on what they wanted as far as features in Bitcoin. And that vote was literally going up to the 11th hour. People weren't sure which way it was going to go. And that was massive Bitcoin FUD. Everyone was just dumping it because they were unsure if the next day Bitcoin would even exist. They overreacted because both coins were still going to exist. But when that was happening, that's kind of where Bitcoin Cash came in. And then it was going to happen all over again. There was a whole nother vote. They were going to talk about where they were going to go from there. That whole vote got canceled. And they just continued forward the way they were going. So those were some huge examples of FOMO or FUD. FOMO is the exact opposite. Of course, a lot of you know what that is, but you're gonna see news organizations constantly talking about where it's going. You'll see people, Mark Cuban, John McAfee, they'll all get on whatever media outlet they can saying this is going to be $1 million by next year, way over the possibility of where it could ever be. But they want to put that notion of getting rich quickly in your head, and you see floods of new buyers come into the market. You'll get news from Coinbase, 1 million new users, 100,000 new users. All these people going in. Last Christmas was Ripple. All of a sudden, Ripple was talked about in the news everywhere, and Ripple went from like just under $1 to $3.50 in the span of a month. So this happens all the time. And what usually happens is when you're watching a chart, you get FUD and FOMO on a much smaller scale, which is you're watching it real time, usually on a small time frame, like a 5-minute chart, which I highly recommend you don't look at. Things move too fast, and it causes your emotions to make you make bad decisions. So if you're watching on a 1-minute or a 5-minute chart and you see a green candle turn red, your brain might say, oh my God, it's going down, sell. And then immediately turns back to green. I screwed this up. I better buy back. Before you know it, you've bought and sold, and you've lost money, fees, and you've lost the total amount of whatever coin you had. If you were trading Ethereum or Bitcoin, you might have started with 3 and now you've got 2.5. You don't even realize like you lost that. So patience is key most of the time. If you're going to make a buy, say, okay, if it continues going down, I'm going to buy more. So I'm not going to spend all of my money. If it continues going down, I'm going to buy more. And that's why you usually leave money in reserve, because then eventually it's going to come back up, and you don't sell until that's in a profit, unless you think, or you're watching the market nosedive and you plan on buying back. If you look at my Excel spreadsheet, which I can't post here, but several of my trades were, -1%, -3%, because I had bought in expecting it to continue. And I decided in my mind that it wasn't a strong position long-term and that it was going to dip and I was going to be able to come back on another coin. XRP was an example. In the past few days, XRP really hasn't moved at all. It's just gone down. And it's a very high volume coin. So I didn't want to miss out on a lot of these market shifts because they've been pretty big. So I got rid of my XRP position at like a 2% loss. And when the dip got down, I bought into another coin like Walton or Neo that moved a lot more. So you have to make that call of how far you want to take a coin, knowing that you're taking that loss. And I'm not going all in on any coin. So it's not like it's a 2% of my stack. It's 2% of 10% of my stack. So it's a lot smaller when you think of it that way. And that's why a lot of times going all in on one coin is a bad idea. It can give you a much easier way to get a profit if it goes up, but it can also give you an easy loss if that one coin doesn't perform very well. That's it.
Very nicely put. Just to add on to that, a couple of classic cases of FOMO today have been all the YouTubers basically have all been totally bullish on the market. They're saying, oh, Senate hearing yesterday was totally bullish. They don't nothing. We're going to be a complete bullish market, and everybody's just bull when the market really hasn't said too much of that. But that's classic case of FOMO right there. Everybody thinks they're going to miss out. Everybody's trying to buy in. They think they're going to catch this big rise, and look what happens. It could go up, it could go down, but everything says it's possible bull trap this next day. But we'll see if it's another green day tomorrow. Also, another classic case of FOMO would be a news article today that was just published by Cointelegraph, where it says Forbes published their first ever richest people in cryptocurrency list. That's going to get a lot of people saying, oh, look, now there's richest people in cryptocurrency as well as richest people in the world. And that's another case of a FOMO article right there. Techie, you have anything to add to this today?
I think Techie had to hop away for a sec to deal with something, so he should be back momentarily.
Well, then what about you, Grizz? Do you have any FUD or FOMO cases of your own?
Oh, yeah. Especially, I mean, FUD and FOMO is something you kind of learn to deal with experience. I think everybody's guilty of it when they first start trading. I know I was, for sure. You see something, I just sat down, guys, so I'm sorry if I'm repeating what anybody else has said. But yeah, when I first started, there'd be, you'd see something moving, and you'd be like, oh yeah, I'm getting in on that. I gotta get my profits, and it gets dumped on. Or vice versa, you're like, look at this thing going down. I better get the hell out of it before it goes lower.
Grizz,
really...
they're saying you're really quiet. Is there any way you can get a little closer to the mic?
It's a headset. Let me try.
Never mind then. They're just gonna have to turn it up.
Is that better? Maybe.
They are responding right now, but go ahead, keep going.
All right, cool. But yeah, the bottom line is, like, you're gonna make mistakes at the start, and you just got to learn from them. And FUD and FOMO is a natural human reaction. You just got to learn what triggers you and try and fight it. But as you get more experience with it, you'll do it less and less, to the point where you feel like quite the seasoned trader. But it's kind of unavoidable at the start, in my opinion. But most people get through it.
I'm looking at. Oh, take it. You're back. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I had to pop away for a few minutes before things got a bit messy outside. Yeah, I agree. I was listening in. I agree with you guys. FOMO, FUD, all of this great stuff. It's a reality in any industry. It's a reality specifically in industry where there's a lot of money and a lot of movement. It exists everywhere in the world, and it exists and it will always exist. So the only thing that you can do is prepare yourself. Okay, always research. Never believe anything when you just see it or you just hear it. Always check out the facts and take everything with a pinch of salt.
Yeah, someone just brought up a great point. Binance is FUDding right now.
Binance
causing
FUD.
That's a great exchanges down.
That's a very great point. Yeah, Binance is causing a lot of FUD right now because a lot of people are going to see that. They're going to be like, oh my God, it's not updating. You're going to be placing buy and sell orders blindly if you can't even place them. So yeah, that is a classic case of FUD right there.
Yep, that is a very, very good point. Yep, I mean, as far as I can see, Binance is still down on my side. I'm not seeing any trade history happening, which means to me then that it's not actually moving. That is looking there. I'm going to go and look through at the chart. USDT, and that should allow me to find Binance.
If
just
Binance
an
is going through
FYI,
maintenance.
I'm looking on the GDAX chart right now, and since that's still up, and Bitcoin's about at the level of that last dip right now. So it
back down.
Went up. It went back down, but it hasn't passed the bottom of where it was on this trend. So it hasn't moved a lot. It's still around the same area, just down a little.
All right, I'm going to open up on Bitfinex, and yep, you guys can see here. I think I did leave the chart open before I left. You guys can see where Bitcoin is back down. What does that mean is going to happen to the chart when it gets updated on here? We're going to see a couple of candles missing. Oop, wrong one. we're going to see a couple of candles missing, and then we'll suddenly see something down here. It's a little bit of a pain, guys, that this happens, but they got to do it at some point, and usually they schedule these updates or these system maintenance a few days in advance. And if it didn't happen here, then it would have happened in the middle of the dip, and then people would have been like, oh, but we don't know where the bottom of the dip is. If it didn't happen at the bottom of the dip, it would have happened at the top of the dip, and then people would be like, oh my god, we missed it. So there's always going to be a point in the charts where it's not good. Okay, so it's a reality of trading. It's a reality of being a trader that occasionally the tools that you use are unavailable. What can you do in the meantime? I'm just going to very quickly check the Binance desktop app. Again here, I don't see any trade history going through. The same candles that are there. The reason why I check the Binance desktop app is because the Binance desktop app uses the API. Well, I guess, yeah, if TradingView isn't updating, then the whole of Binance is going to be down.
I wanted to add one more thing, by the way. When I was talking about my NEO purchases on those support levels earlier, usually if you're looking at those, you're looking at a bigger chart. So like a 1 hour chart, not at like a 15-minute chart, because you're looking at large trends, not small trends. And that encourages you to look at your buys and sells in a more longer term. You're not buying and selling and setting up a point to resell right away. You're buying and just keep.
So let's start swing trading. But
sorry.
No, it's okay. Now I just want to address the question then while it's there so that we can move on. The Luke Quickfingers or Quickfinger Luke method. Let's open up a chart that is actually active, or we can just do it on something so I can draw some lines. Okay, so the Luke Quickfingers method of swing trading, okay, relies upon you breaking previous support lines and then purchasing, okay, after you have broken those previous support lines, okay, under the assumption that things will go back up above those previous support lines. Now, in a bull market, that is absolutely perfect. That is great to do. All right, let's come back to around here. All right, and I'm just going to show you guys very, very quickly as an example here. Okay, so we are on the 1 hour chart. Okay, and the Luke Quickfingers method. All right, I'm going to do it very, very quickly for you guys. I'm summarizing it here. Okay, you look for where there's big red candles. So there's there, and then there's there. Okay, so these are your support lines, and then what you're going to do is you're going to draw vertical lines, essentially. Okay, and you look at where in the future then, okay, maybe that wasn't the best option. Oh, there we go. Okay, and then you have a look in the future where you break those previous lines, or they could even be closer. Okay, and then you purchase down at approximately this point here. Again, I'm just summarizing, guys, okay? You will purchase down. Wow, holy mother, what happened there? I think we went way across. Okay, now my chart is getting messy. Okay, so you will make sure I have the right thing there. You will buy around here and sell around there, okay? And then you draw some new bases along the line, and then when you dip down, you buy here, and you hold on to it, and you try and sell around here somewhere, okay? It's fine, it's great, okay? And it does work. However, it is less effective in a bear market as it is in a bull market. Why? Just delete that last line there. When you are in a bear market and things are dropping quite often, what could have been a previous support line, okay, may now become your new line that you're not going to dip below. So here's a line that would have been drawn, okay, and you would have come here, you didn't break through it, so you didn't buy. It went up a bit and then it dipped down, so you bought, but it never went back above that line, okay? So in a bear market, it's a lot riskier. The method also calls for only putting in tiny little amounts of buys, okay? So you only buy a little tiny bit, okay? You may do 5 or 10 buys along this part here. You maybe buy 5 or 10 orders here, probably not 10 orders, maybe 3 or 4, and then you sell them up here. you keep the majority of your money in a safe place. So you only may be messing around with 1%, 2% of your money, 10% of your money even, if. Okay, so then when this climbs back up, the difference from here, which is 11,990, up to 16,100 and, or we'll say 16.2, that there is a calculation of about 4% gain. If you manage to buy right at the bottom and sell right at the top, 4% gain on about 10% of your trading stack, okay, in the space of 1, 2, 3, 4, well, I can just check out the date at the bottom there, 22nd till the 23rd, in the space of 24 hours, okay? That is why I don't think it's the most efficient method to do. It is a good option, okay? It is a good thing to practice if you have the time to sit there and do it, okay? But it is not the most profitable method. And in a bear market, it is the riskiest method. Because so often you could maybe go in and you come out and you've only invested a few $100s into it. Even if you have $100,000, you're not going to risk going in with $10,000 and then it tanks. You're only going to put in a small amount of money, and that's what he always says. You put in a little bit amount of money, you place lots of little tiny orders, and then when they're in profit, then you sell them. So the risk of you being left holding bags, i.e. holding coins that then you can't sell because you're in a loss at, is much greater than, and this only applies to a bear market, guys, okay? Then it can actually cause, you know, you to end up holding a lot of bags. A lot of people say, well, if it dips lower, then you just keep on buying. Yeah, you could, technically. But there has to be a limit to that. If you started to buy here, and then it dipped lower, and then you bought here, and then it kept on dipping, and you bought more, you're going to end up holding so much of the stuff that you're going to tie up all of your trading money. So, I am not completely against the idea, okay? I am not against it for using it for swinging, okay? What I am against is people saying that, yep, it's the only way, it's the only solution, it's an amazing way to multiply your money to large amounts, because that is not the way that Luke teaches it. It is taught in a method whereby you invest tiny, small amounts into it, okay? And then you take small profits from that, okay? Luke Quickfingers comes from a background of penny stocks, and it's a very common thing to do in penny stocks because you're chasing after the pennies, okay? So the little tiny percentages here where you don't care about anything. And very often he says that he doesn't care about the coin. If a coin is moving, he's gonna swing it, okay? But again, in a bear market, it is a riskier thing to do, okay? Because you could very much end up be left holding bags. All right, so I think I took maybe a bit too much time on that, but I hope that answers the question, because I know a few people were asking about that as well. There's a few people in the challenge who are using this method, as Damelon said. So yeah, let's see now. Mr. Techie, if you place a sell order for a coin, how long is good to keep it up before either changing the sell price or cancelling the order completely? We're going to come up to a point where we're going to talk about selling. I think we'll be doing that tomorrow. Guys, we're going to talk about how to sell, different tactics to sell, when to sell, and then we can cover how to sell. For now, guys, I do not advise swing trading, okay? I love swing trading, okay? I do a lot of swing trading. The majority of my trading is swing trading, okay? I choose a couple of coins that I focus on, okay? One of them recently has been Capacity, being traded on Cryptopia, a different exchange that I have been swinging for a long time, and I can double my stack. I can double the amount of coins I have relatively, you know, without too much stress and without too much risk. So I am a big fan of swing trading, but I don't believe right now is the time for people to get into swing trading and then to do that. I'm just going to read through. I think there's a lot of, I don't know if they're questions or comments on Jeff. Maybe perhaps you can just quickly send me a message. There's a lot of comments from Jerome. There's a lot of comments from, yeah, Jerome Hoof. Are they questions or are they just general comments? Maybe Jeff, you can just send me a message quickly to let me know if I should read them out or not. Let's have a look. Is DiGiacomo here? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. All right. The Jackalow is not yet here. I'm waiting for the Jackalow to come in so he can maybe perhaps give us an update on the BTC chart, but he's not here yet. I believe he may come in possibly a little bit later, but again, we don't want the stream to go on for too long. So I'm going to go back to the plan for the day. And okay, we have project milestones, I think. All right, so it seems that a lot of people right now are a little bit concerned that the challenge is going, but that then the funds are down. I addressed this a little bit earlier on, guys. Perhaps maybe you didn't. Perhaps maybe you didn't catch the beginning of the stream. The answer is simple. That yeah, we could have waited and then tried to wait until Bitcoin recovers. We may have waited 1 week, and then 1 week later we say to everyone, "Hey guys, sorry, we're going to delay the challenge by another week." And then we waited another week. "Hey guys, sorry, we're going to delay by 10 days because we don't know how things are going." And then by the end of it, you guys will be sick and tired of just hearing from us saying, "Okay, we're delaying, we're delaying, we're delaying, we're delaying." Okay, so that is why we decided just then to start with the challenge. The funds are down, and I covered why we didn't go into United States dollar tether earlier on in the stream. If you did miss it, please go back, please check it out. These are all recorded. They are all available for you to check out at your leisure. Whenever you want, you can play it at double the speed, or you can play it at half the speed if you really, really want to. Okay, but I do cover that point there, so I don't want to go over it too much more. I'm just going to see now if there's any other questions. Guys, if you have any questions, then quickly just type them out. Yeah. Okay, that's Jerome. That's Gank the Tank Jerome. Okay, thank you very much, Jerome. I'm just reading back here now.
It wouldn't be a challenge if we started on a rise,
Yeah, guys, this is reality of trading, okay? In the reality of trading, sometimes the shit goes down. You got to deal with it. You got to work out how to calculate your stuff and appreciate it and the moves that you can take in order to do that, okay? It's not all green and making money, So I'm just, I'm just trying now to, to kind of show you guys. And it's good that we started on the red, and we said this earlier on. It's good that we started when things are going down and not when we have a ton of money and then people come and they wake up and they're down $20,000, $25,000 or $30,000. Okay? And again, this is not traditional trading. This is very, very basic trading. The trades that we are doing are very basic. The buys that we are setting and everything, very basic. We haven't done any sells yet. We're doing everything very basic and very slow to make sure everyone's on the same page, so that when we do come to do all the cool stuff, everyone's aware of everything. I got a question here. Do limit orders go through during maintenance? People need to do something else if they don't want to be here. Some of us want to learn. Do limit orders go through during maintenance? There are two different types of maintenance that happen. There is maintenance where their whole system is taken down. I think if I click on info, we might get some information about it. Or perhaps not. If we go to their Twitter. There are two types of maintenance that happen on Binance. There is the interface maintenance, whereby it's just their web interface that goes down. And then there is also the full system maintenance, whereby their web app and their desktop app, which looks like this, okay, where everything goes down. If everything does go down, no limits will be triggered because there's no trading. If you guys have a look through and we go onto the exchange on any coin, there is no, if we wait for this to load, there we go. There is no trade happening. There's nothing there, okay? And so as a result, because there is no movement, okay, then no limit orders will be triggered, okay? So if you have limit orders, you need to be aware of one thing. If right now, if we scroll in here, I'm looking at the 1 hour chart. Let me go back to 15 minutes. Okay, now because Bitcoin kind of jumped back down again, it went up, and then Binance crashed, and then went down, and now it's back up again. I would say, because we're back up, it's going to be less of a panic, because a lot of people would have set orders, and as soon as the market opens again, the orders are going to start triggering, because people are going to start buying and selling again. Now, if we were a lot lower, like all the way down here, for example, if we were down here somewhere, okay, then what will happen is that as soon as it opens again, the price will really start to drop fast, because a lot of people who have the sell orders will go, okay, I know the price right now in the market is $100 less. I'm going to sell my order just however much. You know, I'm in profit, okay? So luckily for us, BTC is kind of around the same market was when Binance went down. That's a beautiful thing. Lucky for us, we don't need to stress and worry about too many things. Okay, so I hope that answers that question there. Gaming Trio saying, no, Mr. Techie projected the project as an easy way to make 250,000. Maybe he shouldn't do the challenge. Out of the 750 people who joined, they are down 30%. That's like $50,000 total. Gaming Trio, thank you for coming. I was expecting you. I didn't project the project as an easy way to make $250,000. We can go and we can have a look at the Crypto Challenge website. Okay, and this website has not ever changed. Anyone can go. You could take a screenshot of it right now if you want, people, and you can just check it out. And it's good information for those of you who are joining us first. This is a challenge, and the first line is, this is not a get-rich-quick system. Okay, we're taking a journey, all right, and we're going to start with around 2 hours a day, and then we start to increase the amount of time that we do. We're going to teach you many things, many aspects of trading. We can even come down to the bottom here, what we will cover, many different things. Okay, and then based off of there, you will become a better trader. You will become a more knowledgeable trader and a wiser trader. Okay, if you haven't checked out the website, there's a link in the description. Okay, you can find out all about the journey. You can find out exactly how things are going to happen. Okay, what we are aiming to do, how we aim to get there. Okay, and all of the information you ever need. Okay, including who the members in the team are, credits for various aspects. Okay, all of the information is there. We are on a journey to make this money ourselves, and we are inviting people to have a look and join in. Okay, is everybody down 30%? No, people aren't down 30%. If we come to the daily, if people followed exactly the trades that we made right now, I think, okay, for some reason this stuff here still isn't working. It just seems to be on this cell, isn't it? Okay, let's try that again now. No, okay, that guy's there, it still doesn't want to work. Let's come here. So we started off with 1,420.28. Okay, when we checked earlier, we were at 1188.57. Okay, and if we come here and we go to equals, that's still doing that same thing, which is very odd behavior. If we do right now, I'm just going to type them in very easily. We're going to do J8 divided by J7 multiplied. Oh, don't even need to put in multiply. We just do that, and we can put in a percentage sign. Okay, that's 83%. And if we come here and we go, what is 1 minus that cell there, which is, sorry guys, I just want to get rid of all this talk and stuff that is happening there. Is that not J10? No, it's J9. Okay, 16.3%. So it's not 30%. Thank you very much. I think you should go and do some maths and actually make this spreadsheet, and perhaps then you would learn about percentages. There's a lot of people who are following who have been making their own trades, and they are up 30, 40, 50, 60%. We are taking very conservative trades. Okay, we are taking things very easily. And that is why then we are kind of doing this, 2 hours a day, teaching people, showing people how to do things. Yes, occasionally you can make some money. Occasionally you can lose some money, but the majority of the time you actually go and you make money. So yeah, if anyone has any doubts, by all means, feel free to contact me, send me a message. I will speak to you. I can honestly say with almost absolute confidence that I don't know a single trader, okay, who in the last month hasn't lost a lot of value. So if we go back to the last month, who from around here down to where we are now, I don't know a single trader who hasn't lost money. Even the best of traders have lost money. Okay? It's part of the nature of being a trader, and it's how you deal when you make a loss which differs you from being a successful trader or just being a random person who makes random amounts of money. That is a big difference. You got to know how to accept the gains and accept the losses. Okay? You got to know how to start with, to go through and to deal with the emotional stresses, the financial stresses, everything. You got to make sure you have the right tools. You got to make sure you have the right equipment. You got to make sure you have the right people around you. And all of these are major contributing factors into being a successful trader. Now I've got CoinVX. Is that CoinVX trader Mr. John himself? Or is that somebody else using his name?
It's obviously not.
I don't believe that is Mr. John himself. But a question asking... someone asking...
Damelon as well.
Okay, great. And someone saying, why did we start with 1420 instead of 1500? The plan was to start with 1500. I transferred the Litecoin over. The market made a major move by the time the money arrived. And so then the 1500 actually sent across, I believe, 1510 just to cover any possibilities. But it dropped a hell of a lot. And when we came to to convert it live on air, it was like, uh-oh. So essentially, that is why the challenge started a little bit less. It's not much. It's nothing in the overall scheme of things, guys. We're still going to go amazingly up. We're still going to go stupidly high. Okay?
Also,
worrying right now.
Techie's time, ask a real question. That's
yeah,
the
guys.
dumbest question I've ever heard.
So,
people.
I'm going to see now, are there any big Q questions? Guys, I'm only going to read out questions now that have Qs on, like if you want to ask a question on YouTube, start with the letter Q. Or if you're on Discord, tag me. Gank the Tank Jerome saying, with your tips, I'm up 70% Satoshi value. See guys, that's absolutely amazing. Okay. 70%. So that's not something small. If we did the same movements that Jerome did, and I know he's been on for a while and he does a few extra hours a day. If we started with 1420, okay, and we multiplied that by 70%, so multiplied by 1.7, 100% plus 70%. I come here, that kind of thing. 2,414. Okay, way above our target of 22.5% per week. He's done 70%. Okay, so if you guys just follow along, and Jerome has been sending me messages during the day, and you're all invited to as well. Send me messages during the day, and I try to answer every single direct message on the Discord server. Link available on the website, which has a link in the video description. Sorry. I try to answer every single DM within 30 minutes. That is my target. Gank the Tank Jerome has been asking me questions quite often, quite frequently, as do a lot of other members, and a lot of them come back with massive gains. And that is why it's not just the challenge, there is a whole community behind it on the CoinVX server. You're all invited to go and ask there, and we will try to help you out, and we'll try to do some stuff. Magic Mind saying, question, for downtrend, can the channel talk sometime about margin trading or shorting coins? We can, however, because we're starting off, this is a 26-week journey. I might be able to just very quickly show you guys. This is a 26-week journey. Here is the rough timeline so far that we have. week one, we are back to basics. Okay, we want to make sure everybody is on the same level, everybody is on the same page, everybody has the same knowledge, okay? Before we start to move on to TA, before we start to move on to how to deal with wallets, before we get into more advanced TA, before we go into swing trading, before we start to talk about buying ICOs, before we have a party at week 26, and then a special surprise at week 27, okay? So we will, once I believe that there is enough confidence, once I believe that everybody can follow along. I don't want to teach something now and then somebody misunderstands it because they missed out on a very fundamental piece of knowledge, and then basically they end up losing money. I'm trying, guys, to make this as safe as possible for everybody to be able to make money, okay? The thing is that I know where these people who are coming saying, oh, you lost 30% in the challenge, they are the very same people who also say that you don't lose money till you sell. We haven't sold anything yet, so technically we haven't lost money, okay? So that's it. That we will cover the more advanced topics as they come along. Gang the Tank saying it's 34% in dollar value. That's great. That's amazing. We're aiming for 22.5% weekly over here, and tomorrow, guys, we will start to update our weekly sheet, okay, where we'll put in all of our weekly amounts. We've got a separate one from the daily one, where we'll also be calculating the percentages on there. Nyquist saying week 27 leaked. That sheet will constantly be updated, guys. Don't take anything on there in a serious level. It previously existed on paper and pen, but I transferred it on there today so the rest of the team can have a look. Are there any more questions, ladies and gentlemen? Before the question, as the questions start to come in, guys, check out the website. I know I've mentioned it just before. There's a lot of information on there, okay? And join the Discord server. The Discord server is by far one of the biggest possible things that you could use as a tool in your arsenal of weapons when it comes to trading. Why do I call it a weapon? It's not just a tool. The Discord system really does allow you to dive in a lot deeper, okay, to get a lot more information out of things and to make a lot better trades, okay. You come here, you click on Discord. Discord is a chat system, okay. There's multiple rooms in there, and then you can work out, you can ask questions, you can see when things are happening, you can get people's feedback and opinions on coins or on trades or on whatever it is. Join there. That's the first thing. Second thing, the YouTube channel. Subscribe to it, guys, okay, because that way you'll get all the notifications. And also, if you like the video, then give a thumbs up, and if you have any constructive criticism, then you're more than welcome to type it in the comments, okay? But trolls, beware, you will be blocked. Perfectly fine. I don't care. It's very nice of you guys to admire me in such a way that you're going to dedicate your life. You're going to admire the project in such a way that you want to spend some time talking to us live on air, and that the only words that you can say is utter rubbish. So welcome. We appreciate that. Follow Twitter as well, guys. I do tweet on there. Currently not as much, but as we start to get more and more into the stuff, as we start to get more and more into the trading and the day trading aspect, there'll be a lot more tweets on there. If you don't have a Twitter account, don't worry. You don't have to have a Twitter account. We're going to try and keep things organized. Mr. L'Oreal Julian saying, in the website, will there be something under progress updates lesson section? Yes. We have currently, before we get started, I was going to post every single video and everything in there. But for now, I'm just working on something that will automatically pull in all of the videos and keep everything there automatically. And because we are being attacked on a regular basis, this website isn't updating as often. So for example, I made a change earlier on today to the team and it hasn't reflected yet. It's a security system just to kind of replicate the website across several locations. So yes, it will be updated soon. Something that just needs to be worked on. Let's just check here. Is there any question? What is the TA for BTC tonight and tomorrow? I'm going to see Jacklow did send me a message. He should be on in a little bit, although we are getting close to the end of the stream time, so we'll see if he makes it. And then we can have a look at the TA for Bitcoin. Banu saying, how do you know that there will be volume on a coin? There are several easy ways to check out the volume. The first thing is this bar here, this graph at the bottom here, is the volume live as it's happening. So for each candle you can see the volume. Okay, that is generally, like when I look at a coin, I check out the volume here. I see the volume of how much has actually been traded within a period of time. That is the way that I do it. Damelon or Grizz, do you guys check your volume in any other way?
Nope, not myself.
Mr. Damelon? Okay, seems like Damelon's a little bit away right now. Another thing that you can do is if you're researching a coin and you're not just looking to actively trade it, you can come to Coin Market Cap, okay? Coin Market Cap, and you can come and you can open up any coin. So for example, I can go to Nano, which is the renaming of another coin. And here you can see the volume in the previous 24 hours. It gives you a good idea of how much, in a sense, that is kind of being moved around. If there's a large market cap, but the volume is like nothing, then you know, okay, this is a very low volume coin. So as an example, we can come and have a look at Capacity. Okay, so Capacity has a market cap of 46 million right now, and the volume is less than $400,000 in the last 24 hours, which is very, very low. And the reason why Capacity is very, very low is because if we jump on markets, it's on one market. It's on Cryptopia, okay, which has 100% of the volume. But if we go back to Mr. Nano, actually, I'm going to duplicate this just so that then we can switch between them. So if we go to Nano, okay, we can see Nano has a 1,446,000,000, okay, market cap, and its trade volume is 42 million, okay. So just looking at them kind of side by side, you can see the massive difference. This one here is 10. It's quite a bit larger, and as a result then, so is the market cap. Okay, I think there's a John R. Okay. There's a John R claiming to be Mr. Coin VX, and I'm interested right now, is that actually Mr. John Robin or not? John, if that is you, please DM me. Thank you. Oh yeah, we were looking at the markets. So now if we click on markets, and this is Nano, you can see how many different markets this is on. Some exchanges, okay, Cryptopia, are generally low volume exchanges. There isn't really a lot of volume that happens on there, okay? But exchanges like Binance are quite high volume. So if you have a look here, Binance had 18 million or 44% of the volume over the last 24 hours came from one exchange, Binance, which is why we're on there, which is why this whole thing is happening on there. Okay, I haven't seen a message from John. So if it is John, then yeah, you guys can delete him confidently. I asked him to send me a message. He didn't send me a message, so feel free to mute him, guys. So back to the volume question. I can look here, or if I'm actively trading a coin and I know I'm interested in the project, I've already researched it, I already checked out the stuff, and we're going to cover how to research a coin. That is coming. I can't remember when now. All of my days and weeks go blend together. Then while I'm actively looking at the coin to trade it, then I can have a look at the volume as it happens here on the volume graph, and that will give me a very good idea of how the coin is doing right now. And as you guys can see, during various points in the day, the volume does increase and decrease. Generally, larger volume means larger action, okay? As you guys can kind of see, whenever there's a lot of kind of big candles, because a lot of action happened. If If you guys see large volume, but we're kind of just going sideways, we're not really moving, that's an interesting point. We're going to cover that when we come to do TA. We're going to talk about how to look at volume, how to look at various indicators. These here are all called indicators, okay? How to look at indicators to decide when to buy and when to sell. Right, any other questions? Let's see here. Julian saying, basic question, but in what can it help us to know if there is a low volume suddenly? Wow, Julian as well. Can you tell us what the other lines in the chart? Not sure if doing TA is on, but could you give us a quick TA and what we expect, although that is a risk to take. Yep, I'm not a TA, guys. I do my own personal TA sometimes, but I also reach out to other people who are more knowledgeable than me to do some TA. I don't feel confident in giving you guys TA. I don't want to provide any misleading information in that basis. What can it help us to know if there is a lot of volume suddenly? If there is a lot of volume suddenly, generally means that it's making a movement in a certain direction. It will potentially be moving in one way or another. However, you got to understand that volume only, this volume talks about the current candle, okay? So it's not like you're going to see a lot of volume and then the next candle is going to jump up, okay? So you gotta appreciate that. Again, we're going to cover them in a little bit more depth when it comes to TA week. In general, what I look for is I look at when there is a lot of volume and not a lot of movement on a candle. Then I can kind of see, okay, potentially there may be some movement in the next candle, okay? And I will leave that there. Okay, I think I covered all the questions on the Discord server. Let me have a look here right now. Okay, I don't see any other questions unless I missed something on YouTube. I think I did just get a message from someone, although possibly not. I'm not sure where that went. Yeah, so I think then Julian again asking, regarding the lines, I'm talking about the ones on the basic Binance chart, but maybe this is covered during TA sessions. If you're talking about these purple and pink lines in the background, or the mauve and I don't know, I'm a guy, we don't really know the names of the colors in this way. It's a mauve and a, is that a pink, guys? Or are my eyes tricking? Maybe a pink and a mauve and a red. These lines, again, we will cover them all when it comes to TA week. We will go through everything. And yeah, Gank the Tank, it's actually scientifically proven that women can see more colors than men. There's a physical difference in the eye, which allows their eyes to detect different colors. And that is why men like to summarize colors into fewer names, whereas I don't want to get into this men and women thing, but yeah, some people of society are able to see more colors, and some other people of society are not able to see as many colors. I'm trying not to dig a deep hole here. All right, so Damelon, sorry, yep. Dijaclo hasn't joined us yet, guys. I'm not going to really provide any TA on here. Looking at the chart right now, though, when we started the stream, we were here. We dipped down, we bounced back up again. What does this mean? A lot of people are still expecting Bitcoin to crash at some point, but a lot of people are also still expecting Bitcoin to go up. I think the action that has happened since we did the stream yesterday, I believe, which was about here or something. Wow, exactly here, yep. So the action that happened since we were here yesterday for the stream, we dipped and we started to go up, and it built up a lot of confidence for a lot of people. A lot of people are starting to buy back in now, okay? A lot of people are starting to make trades. A lot of people are bringing back in even new money. So I would say that there's a lot more confidence in the market today than there was yesterday. My general opinion is that we will, I don't know if we're completely safe yet, but we will continue to go up a little bit. We haven't reached that safe level. If you guys remember yesterday, I mentioned to you what Until 1 Mil said, that we needed to reach 8,800 in order to stay safe. Okay. He also said we need to stay above 8,300 in order for, and this is news from 24 hours ago, so it may have changed in the meantime, but we need to stay above 8,300 in order for things to be considered, okay, we're a bit safe. So yeah, We don't have any TA right now. I do apologize for you guys. Perhaps head over to the Discord server. We may find Jacklo there a little bit later on. And so then, you know, we can ask him there and perhaps then he can give us a summary. Other than that, Mr. Grizz, Damelon or Romeo, do either of you guys want to add anything before we close the session tonight?
Not me. I think I'm good.
That's it for me, folks.
All right, and Damelon, I'm not sure if Damelon is there right now. He was away from his microphone a little bit earlier on. And it seems like maybe he is still low. Oh, are you there?
That was me. I said his wife probably called.
Yeah. Okay, then, guys, thank you very much. I know Binance is still down. I would love to stay here entertaining you all night. But yeah, you know, unless I'm going to start singing and dancing and stuff for you guys, I don't think it's going to be that entertaining. Just listening to me drone on about random stuff on cryptocurrencies and stuff. So we're going to leave it here for tonight, guys. If you do have any questions, feel free to go over to the Discord server. Once again, link is in the description via the website link that's in the description. Leave a thumbs up on the video if you liked it. If you don't like it, send me a message, leave a comment, let me know what you didn't like, let me know what we can change to improve it all, let me know how we can do things differently. And then, of course, you know, this whole thing is created so that you guys can learn and understand stuff. So, yep, let us know how we can make it all better. For now, though, it's going to be a good night, a good evening, or a good morning from myself, Grizz, Damelon, and Romeo, and of course the rest of the team, who you will all be meeting very, very soon. And that's it. Have a good night.